Let's be real, if you're chasing record labels and begging gatekeepers for approval, you're already losing. That era is dead. You probably spent years polishing tracks, sending demos to labels that don't even open your emails, hoping some big DJ is going to drop your track or that some promoter is finally going to book you for a festival or club gig. Maybe even praying that Spotify's algorithm or an Instagram reel is just going to magically blow you up. That's what I mean by gatekeepers. Record labels, promoters, playlist curators, big name DJs, and even the algorithms deciding who gets seen on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. They control access, they control reach, and for decades, they've controlled who gets a career. And sure, that strategy might have worked 5 years ago. Honestly, even 2 years ago, especially when the pandemic pushed thousands of new producers into the scene, all chasing the same dream. But in 2025, it's a trap. The scene is oversaturated, inboxes are flooded, and most producers who cling to gatekeepers end up broke, burnt out, stagnant, or straight up invisible. Artists who are winning today aren't waiting for permission. They're self-sufficient. They own their growth, their audience, and their careers, and they're building fan bases faster than labels can keep up. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why the gatekeeper model is collapsing and how the self-sufficient artist system is helping house and techno producers like you break free and finally build careers on your own. I'm Jonny, otherwise known as Marksman from Marksman Producer Academy. I've been DJing, producing, and writing music for almost 2 decades. Along the way, I've had millions of streams, 2 beat #1s, playing shows all around the world. But the important part here is I've also been on the other side of this. I've chased labels, I've begged promoters, and waited for someone else to decide my future. And I can tell you first, it doesn't work. What does work is building a system, one that let me quit my job and do music full time, make more money than I ever made in my day job, and now I've helped hundreds of other producers do the same. So everything I'm going to share with you isn't theory, and it's certainly not wishful thinking. It's actually what's working in 2025 for artists who want to take control of their careers. Many big name artists and brands that you know are doing exactly this. Let's break it down. So why exactly is this gatekeeper strategy collapsing? Well, for decades, record labels were the golden ticket. They had distribution, industry, connections, marketing muscle. But today, distribution is free. Marketing is democratized, and you don't need a label to get on Spotify, Beatport, or even to run ads. Like, anybody can do it. And these days, the best labels, the ones actually worth working with, are drowning in demos. We're talking tens of thousands of demos every single month. And yeah, some of it's good, a lot of it's not. And I can tell you for a fact, most of these labels do not have anywhere near the infrastructure and team depth to be able to even get through half of those. So most don't even listen. They don't ever listen. They're never going to respond. And if you're waiting for a label to pick you, you're stuck in this endless losing game and lottery. And even if they do know you, I have built relationships with some pretty reputable labels, and I'm going to censor who these labels are, but you definitely know who they are, and I have a very good relationship with them through what we built together. But take a look at this. Like, this label here said they were interested in my track. It's taken them literal months to get back to me, just leaving me hanging, even with follow-ups. This other label here, you're going to very much know who they are. They said they were going to sign my track and they were interested in it, but then literally heard nothing from them since last year, even with follow-ups. This is a terrible experience for artists. So this is how they treat me. Imagine how they're going to treat people that they don't know. And this is exactly why people aren't using this strategy anymore, and it doesn't work because you're sat on these tracks for months, even years, waiting to have it placed when you do it another way. Secondly, promoters, they used to be the gatekeepers of the live scene. They decided who gets on stage, but now they're overloaded too because they book acts who can sell tickets. It's not just about having good music anymore to get to perform. And ticket sales today only come from one thing: having your own audience. This clip here from Don Diablo.
Just got this, I got a number 43 in progressive house and I'm still not getting any bookings. I'm like, what's wrong with this industry? Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I just had 10 number 1s. And I don't have any bookings. I'm literally looking at all these crazy festivals and these streams, and I see people playing my records, but no one's booking me at all.
Is crazy, because sure, he had interest, but he didn't control his audience, nor have a way to even communicate that with potential bookers. So he got left high and dry, even though he made good music, clearly. DJs and tastemakers. So once upon a time, getting a big DJ to drop your track was the holy grail. But here's the truth. With thousands of producers flooding inboxes with promos every single week, the DJs can't keep up as well. Even though it's their job to play fresh, new music, it's an incomprehensible task. And even if you do get lucky and land a support from a big DJ, it rarely actually translates into long-term fans, because you have no control of whether or not the audience actually enjoys your song, let alone if they are going to actively search for it. And even if they do play it, you have to search for that clip. It's usually going to be very difficult to find, if not impossible to find. It's like buying a scratch card or a lottery ticket. Like, obviously it feels good, and sure, yeah, you could win the jackpot, but more than likely it's not going to change your reality. Playlist curators are another shiny trap. You spend weeks chasing curators, begging for placements, or even paying for placements, and maybe you land one, but one playlist spike doesn't build a career. When your track gets rotated out of the playlist, the streams almost immediately collapse. It doesn't lead to long-term growth. And then there's the final boss, the algorithm. This faceless machine that decides who gets exposure, and everybody always blames the algorithm. It's not out to get you, it's just not promoting your stuff because, well, frankly, the purpose of an algorithm is to be as addictive as possible and keep you on the platform. So if your stuff's just at the level to keep someone addicted, like, you're not even competing with other artists, you're literally competing with golden retriever videos and girls doing squats and yoga pants. Your post ain't got a chance. And even if you do get that viral moment, that rush of views, if you don't own that audience, it's going to disappear very quickly, especially if you can't replicate that. It's like building a sandcastle on the beach. It might look beautiful, but as soon as the tide comes in, one wave will wash it away. So here's the truth. Every gatekeeper is overloaded, unpredictable, or uninterested in your career. If you depend on them, you'll always be waiting for permission that never comes. And that's why so many talented producers are stuck. Not because they aren't good enough or they're not hardworking, but the rules have changed. The game is different. And the artists who get this are the ones that build their own ecosystem. They're not waiting in line, they're already winning. You can see the biggest of the big artists doing this exact system. They don't need anybody else. So if the old system is dead, what replaces it? This is where the self-sufficient artist comes in. So if labels, tastemakers, promoters, playlisters, and algorithms can't be trusted in your career, then, well, who can? It's really simple. You. That's where the self-sufficient artist comes in. It's a framework designed for producers who are done waiting for permission and are ready to build their own careers on their own terms. Self-sufficient doesn't mean doing everything alone. It means building a system where your music, your content, your brand, and your audience, and the monetization strategy all feed into each other. Think of it like a DJ set that keeps looping and building energy, and each track pushes the crowd even higher, feeding into the next one. That's what your career should be like. Momentum that's compounding every time you release, post, play, or take action. Not one that drops off and gets forgotten the next day. And here's the crazy part. By cutting out the gatekeepers and going straight to the people that actually matter, the fans, the end user of the music, you're actually achieving the same outcome that these gatekeepers promised, just without the permission slip. If people in your city are here to see a certain artist and like a certain style of music, you don't need to beg the promoter. Just throw your own event and go talk to these people and put those exact people in your room, and they'll have just as much fun as if you'd been booked yourself. It's the same with labels. If your sound fits like Afterlife and Juna Deep, Innovisions, Defected, or whatever, you don't need their stamp of approval to connect with their audience. If your music is genuinely good, the fans will love it anyway. And the gatekeeper is making the decision based upon thousands or potentially even millions of people that could well love your music. And who should give them the right to do that? Gatekeepers don't create fans, they just decide who gets access to them. But now, you just go direct. This is exactly what we did with my label, Elevation London. You release the music when you want, without begging for approval. You build an audience that actually belongs to you and doesn't play by the rules of the algorithm. You keep it offline in something like an email list or Discord community where you can hit them up anytime. You can monetize that audience directly, and you're playing the long game, which is compounding growth, and the cycle continues. Some of my really good friends, Pandora, incredibly talented duo, were getting sick of being treated poorly by labels, and they told me, I think it was in late 2022, that everything they were going to do from then on was to self-release everything. These guys have tracks get millions of streams, and it's all themselves, and they've built their own audience. They were playing in London a couple months ago. They play all around, and it's because they just do it themselves and do it better and can do what they want, when they want, and how they want, without anybody telling them what to do, and that's why they're smashing it. That's exactly what we did with Elevation London. We booked out clubs like Egg and Ministry of Sound in London, and we just went and spoke to the people that were going to the other parties and said, hey, we're running a party, you should come, it's going to be fun. And surprise, they had an amazing time, they invested in our brand, and now they come all the time to our events, they support our label, much the same. And you know who I had to ask for permission? Nobody. I just did it. So let's break this down. How do we actually build this? Well, we have 3 pillars of the self-sufficient artist system. The first pillar being self-sufficient producer, where the goal is to create bangers, of course. And this is about consistently finishing high-quality tracks. You're not stuck polishing one demo for months. You choose the best, release the best, and keep the momentum going. The key is mastery, so knowing what works, why it works, and how to do it so that you can do it fast, and that in every session you hit that flow state. Case in point, we speak to thousands of producers every year, and some people say it takes them months or multiple months to finish a single track, and they're usually not even happy with it after that. So if you finish, 3 or 4 tracks a year, you don't have a choice of what you can release. If you finish a track every single week, you have the luxury of choice. Before you say, well, I'm super busy and I have a full-time job, I have a wife, I have kids, or I play sport, or or whatever you've got going on in life, well, I can guarantee you that with our workflow system, we have people that we taught this workflow to who have all of those things and can finish a track a week, at least a track a week. Case in point, Simon, Sleep the Skies. He has all of those things and also a very cute golden retriever who I am so excited to meet. But he can finish sometimes 2 tracks a week, even with all of those responsibilities. It's about making the most out of your time that you do have. By the way, we have a video coming on exactly that workflow, so make sure you hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss that. Now, the second pillar is the self-sufficient promoter, is where you essentially build a fan base, right? You're not begging the algorithm, you're not praying for virality. When you own the relationship, you decide the rules. So what I'm saying here is it's not about praying Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify to save you. It's about creating your own system offline, usually via an email list or Discord server or something like that, where you determine the rules and it's not down to external factors. And here's the distinction. Eyeballs do not mean fans. Streams does not equal income. You need a system that's going to turn this attention into relationships, and relationships into customers. A customer in this game is someone that's going to buy a ticket to your show, buy your merch. If you're offering services, they'll buy your services or whatever you have, right? And that's the difference between hype and potential and a real career. Case in point, some of my very good friends who release on, we're talking the biggest labels in the world, and Juna Deep. I'm not going to publicly name them because they wouldn't want me to specifically say that's not cool. People that are releasing regularly on these labels, they're still in full-time jobs because they haven't found a way to convert those eyeballs and attention into long-term fan growth and then monetize that. Or you could contrast this with me, where I quit my job in 2022. I had about 4,000 followers at the time, only on Instagram. I wasn't on any of the platforms. But because I'd made sure I developed relationships with my audience and had a way of converting my audience into paying customers consistently, you do not need to be a superstar or even have millions of eyeballs on you to do this. It's actually very achievable. We've had Maria do it, we've had Lucas do it, we've had Nathan do it. It's all totally doable. Now, Finally, this is the payoff, the self-sufficient leverage. And when you consistently make amazing music and you own and monetize your fan base, you're flipping the script. So labels are going to start reaching out to you that you wanted to work with to start with, asking you for demos. DJs are already going to know who you are. Promoters are going to book you because you're bookable and have an audience of people that are going to buy tickets. And because you're already earning directly, you're not negotiating from desperation. You're not having to kiss ass or beg people. You're negotiating from power. It's leverage, and leverage is freedom. Case in point, before I started my brand and label Elevation, nobody was booking me for anything. Nobody was listening to my demos or even who I was. But then we built Elevation, and because we nurtured our fan base and turned them into paying customers, we've had 3 Beatport #1s through the label. We get millions of streams, and we had a radio show that had millions of reach in multiple countries because we had something that people actually wanted. They came to us and wanted to work with us. Like, we've had Korolova do radio shows with us, Jonas Selbach, iMusica, like Grigori from Afterlife, like all sorts of artists, because we've got something cool that they want, and we can create opportunities through our events, through our label. And the other parties, such as promoters, other labels, and other producers you might want to collaborate with, they see this as like, wow, this is something that we want. We've flipped the script. Now people are coming to us. Original gatekeepers now actually treat us with the same respect as them. Think about the guys from Kind Music. They just release their own music on their own label. They play shows all around the world, and like, they can just do what the hell they want. They don't need anybody else. It's the same with Anima, with Afterlife as well. He could just do his own thing. And same with Lane 8. Lane 8 releases pretty much exclusively on his own label, built his own audience, plays his own shows, and like, he lives a pretty chill lifestyle because he's got his own thing, he controls everything. So those are the 3 pillars: producer, promotion, leverage. Master these 3, and you're no longer chasing opportunities, you're creating them, and it all keeps cycling and growing. The better music you make, the more fans you're going to make, the bigger your audience is going to be, the bigger the opportunities, the more leverage, which means you have more time to put back into the music, and so on and so forth. It's just going to keep scaling and growing like crazy, rather than doing short-term transactional strategies that most people have been doing for the past 10 years, and now it just doesn't work anymore. So let's wrap this up. Here's the truth. You don't need to be a superstar DJ. You don't need a mega label deal, because attention without ownership is just noise, but attention with a system, that's a career. So the question is, are you going to keep waiting for permission, or are you going to build your own system? If you want us to help you implement this and show you exactly how to do it step by step, DM us the code X22 on Instagram at Marksman Producer Academy. Make sure you follow us first so we can respond back. Instructions are in the description. And if you're not quite ready to work with us just yet, we have a wealth of amazing free courses and resources in our school platform. Link is in the description. You can go sign up right there, totally free. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.